This could all go horribly wrong at any minute.
Hello, and welcome to Lewis Black's Rantcast, number 121, entitled Day Late, Dollar Short, or Don't Take Your Eye Off the Ball. Or we could have called it Stop Looking at Your Balls, or Pay Attention, Please. And I'm calling it this in response to the fact that the government, Congress, is just getting around to working on a Railway Safety Act that they're hoping to pass really quickly. So it'll have a lot of glitches in it, I'm fucking sure. And especially after the railroads come on in and railroad their way through that legislation. We just get around to it. We just decide, wow, man, boy, that railway safety, that's something we should take a look at because we had that big thing happen in East Palestine and the people are really upset. Are you fucking kidding me? We do this constantly. Oh, boy, it's really a surprise. It's not a surprise. It's sitting in front of your fucking face. Even the good people of Ohio, even their government, just kind of went, wow, we got all these trains coming through. We ought to really deal with this stuff. And then they have another crash. And let's see if that moves them any faster. You know, they don't seem to move quickly in terms of after we're in the 90th, mass shooting, 90th or something like that. You know, we're way ahead of schedule when it comes to those kind of things. You know, and does anything come from that? Nothing. And then eventually we'll do it. We go, oh yeah, well, it's that's the absolute proof of a day late, a dollar short in the way we operate. Okay, and I don't give a shit. It's not up for argument. Okay, and I've been through it. So let's get to the fucking trains. You know, I used to have trains as a kid. I mean, quite exciting. I love trains. I love being on trains. I happen to have a great affection for Amtrak, and I'm going to be going to Europe, and I'm hoping to get on a few trains there. They're great. It's a great way to travel. But boy, one would think we might regulate the fucking trains. One would have thought something would have been in place. It's an embarrassment, and it always comes late. It inevitably. We do it later, we're always kind of, oh, we should have thought of that. God, I can't believe it. Really, all those chemicals traveling through a state on a fucking, go look at the railroad tracks and go look at a goddamn fucking thing that's carrying a toxic shit, and then wonder how it's not a miracle it gets from one end of the country to the other, It's funny. We had no railway safety law, nothing, no Railway Safety Act. Oh, but now we will. It's extraordinary to me, and the reason, in part, is because the trains themselves were, of course, watching over themselves, and they came up with precision railroad scheduling. I have to look at this because my mind can't fucking remember it because it would fucking explode. So under precision railroad scheduling, which sounds like, that might be smart, to be so precise that you really are nailing the way in which we're doing our train scheduling. And so there wouldn't be a problem. Well, it made that fucking thing, precision railroad scheduling, means, this is what it means. The trains became longer because shit. And I've talked about it last week. They're massive. They're fucking endless. And since the trains are longer, they reduce the staff, because that's what you do when you make something bigger and longer and more. Whenever you have more, you want to overseen by less people. That's inevitable. That's a kind of a intelligence, and it's all for cash. Okay, that we're now going to fucking spend through that they're going to spend, and don't think that we're not going to end up having to back up their spending somehow, that Norfolk Southern will have to fucking spill out some cash, but they won't give enough. And eventually, the state of Ohio and the United States will have to help fucking fund this thing, okay? and because you couldn't pay, 10 other people, 20, whatever you needed. Not that it would have helped in this crash. And they also scrapped safety inspectors. They scrapped, you heard me, safety inspectors. They scrapped safety inspectors so they wouldn't have to pay them. They put the, I've started reading this recently, so because this just is beyond belief. And then they had used to be the light trains are in the back, the heavy trains are up front. And that way, if there was a problem, that the heavy trains would kind of run out and not run into the light trains, as we saw in East Palestine. And we saw, I believe, again in the other crash in Ohio recently. Because what happens is the light trains, kind of stop, and then these big ass trains come in and smash into them, and then it becomes like that, bump. The first one, I can't do this. What am I? I'm demonstrating this. I'm an idiot. But it's like bam, then there's another one that comes like that. They were folded up like an accordion, spilling over the tracks and just belching shit into the air. And that doesn't work. I don't know why they decided. Probably because it saved on fuel. Who the fuck knows? But enough is fucking enough. We got to wake the fuck up and start acting like we know what we're doing. Pretend. Okay? Focus. And God knows if they can get through this without making it, something that they have to have, a political football out of it, just do it. Okay? There's no partisanship in this thing. There's no my side, your side. All right? It's our safety. It's the safety of Ohio. Okay? I know it's you probably haven't visited it. They have a really great amusement park in Sandusky, I'll tell you, by the way. But we have to do something in order to protect ourselves, okay? And we need to be protected by those in charge. And they fucking fail on inevitably every single time. Can't sit down and figure it out. I just saw two schmucks on TV talking about, well, we're doing this and we're going to get together. We're really figuring this out. It should pass it should be passed now. It should have been passed years ago. Okay? We're allowed to oversee the safety of our people. It's not socialism in any way, shape, or form to demand of a goddamn company that puts us at risk that they follow some goddamn rules, and that is fucking that from there. Day late, dollar short, all right? Jesus. And even when we got laws, even when we have laws in place, like child labor, we still can't find a way in which to make it impossible. And who'd have thought, that kids would be working again? Okay, who'd have thought that? Then they are apparently in meatpacking, and at night in the meat fucking packing industry. And even when we have laws in place, okay, it doesn't seem to matter because they just found there were 100 children working for a sanitation group that cleans meatpacking plants. They were in 13 of them. And apparently the equipment they were working on, which I could have read you this stuff, but it's ludicrous. It doesn't matter what they were working on. They shouldn't have been there. And most of them were doing it apparently at night and then getting up, some of them, and going to school. What fucking planet are we on? Okay, we had a law in place. How does that even happen? So they got fined. The sanitation company, the food sanitation company, got fined $1.5 million. Not enough. Not fucking enough to scare people. I wonder what their profit was last year, and I'm not looking that up. And this is the reason I didn't run for Congress. There should be people fucking going, it's not enough fucking money to fine them. And if we had a cap on it, then we're really fucking stupid, and we're back to day late, dollars short. They should be fucking stop. They literally. We're going to keep the sanitation group and tell the people who need the sanitation, you're going to pay to have another group come in that you allowed it. What are they? Are they not fine too? What do they not know? The meat packers? Are you shitting me? You have children working. You broke child labor laws. I thought that was a stunner. And in meatpacking plants, which when I was a kid, I read a book called The Jungle by Upton Sinclair about the meat industry and what a shithole it was. And by God, here we are again. Years later, and they're fucking up again. And I eat meat, and I don't point fingers, but it really makes you wonder. What am I? You yell about, the ones making sneakers in Asia, about the kids who are doing that. This is in a meatpacking plant. I mean, completely dangerous, and we're just not on top of it. How do you allow 100 children to do that? Huh? How do their parents allow it? Or if their parents were even around? It's beyond disturbing, and it makes for another week that you go, when are we gonna fucking start paying fuck attention? We have all of these places. You can't, Barbara. You can't hire more people to work in these jobs. That's why we need people. Sorry, in the FDA and in the agricultural department. That's how come we need a federal government, because they have to oversee this shit. Okay, and every state that has a meat packing plant or has some sort of industry within it should have somebody who at least goes down to check it out. It's insanity. It's rampant insanity. And it's tiresome amidst everything else. And then meanwhile, they're down in Florida screaming about books. Really? That's the problem, is books? Wow, you talk about taking your eye off the fucking ball. Talk about looking at your balls. But you can't look at your balls. And certainly not because that would arouse prurient interest in yourself. And so they would have to take you and put you away for a while. I've kind of gone off the tracks there. Also, speaking of balls, or hiding them, or whatever, the drag show. I was looking for transition. If that, and then you immediately start thinking. This is what I start thinking. Boy, did I say something there that might disturb people out there, and are they going to be disturbed about it? Why? Okay. I think what's more disturbing is that the state of Tennessee and a number of other states, apparently 15, as of last count, that I've saw, that are no drag shows for children. No. I didn't know they were doing drag shows for children, but if they're fun, and they're afraid of it raising prurient interest. I mean, there's nothing wrong with a drag show for child. Kids get a kick out of it. All right. People get a kick out of it. It's all over the place now. Okay. It's something. It's a form of entertainment. Okay. And I don't think there's a raging market in Tennessee. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't think anybody's making a fortune off of doing drag shows for children. But if they are, I'm sure they're fun. And if they are prurient, if they, you don't do a oversexed drag show for children. Everybody knows that. And if an adult was in the audience, I'm sure that they would go, "We can't. You're gonna have to stop this. You're making my kid crazy. You can't do that." All right, but this legislation in which they're just coming after what was, and this was, I remember Red Skelton. I believe he dressed in drag, and I was just reading a little bit ago, trying to check on that. I remember him being in drag, and that Mickey Rooney was in drag. It was on TV in the 50s. Nobody flipped out. I didn't see it and go, boy, I got to change my sex because boy, that Mickey Rooney looks great in a dress. I want to be just like him. No. But, so for the one out of however many that might see that form of entertainment and say, boy, I want to do that. No, nothing so terrible about that. I'll tell you this, it's in New York City, it's booming. At the West Bank, where I really kind of made that transition from playwright to comic, over the past number of years up till the pandemic, there was drag shows there every night, and some of them, some of them went on. Some of those performers went on to larger careers. Jinx Monsoon being one of them, just for me to drop a name, who's going around the country now with a show. And so, but it's just, God, how do they worry about drag shows? Oh, how much time do you have on your hands and not really worry about the things that need to be worried about? We certainly don't in our news, but apparently this Alex Murdaugh, which is Alex, well, it's Murdaugh, I guess you pronounce it. I've only heard it pronounced every night on the news. Was convicted this last week, and they nailed him. It took 3 hours for the jury, after listening to 5 weeks of testimony, go, oh no, you're out of here. They got him on all the murder charges, and he'll be going to he'll be going to the pokey. Well, the word I've never used, and they might poke him in the pokey for all we know. And once again, oh, are we making a massive thing about those who are in prison now, and that they like to pokey Mr. the guy who was fucking poking everybody, financial level, and wow, it was unbelievable that it took up, to me, so much time on television. I kind of remember they used to have court TV, and they would have that, and that, it seemed to me that's the logical place. You want to watch it? Don't worry about it. There'll be a ton of people who would watch it. Now it was on every nightly news. And I think it's because I may have said it, that it was like, oh, we need a live stream for the news. And so this is the story. It's a story that seemed to catch the nation's eye. It certainly caught my friend Kathleen Madigan's eye. And she followed it kind of intently through a podcast that she really liked. And I know a number of others who did, but I don't think it's national news. But they nailed him, and I think what was important about nailing him was the thing of the entitled, "Don't get away with murder." That's simple, very simple sentence. And just because he had that position and the wealth, nope. But he did 100 other crimes. I wonder if he hadn't, or if he hadn't done the other crimes, if they would have caught him. But that certainly was kind of damning evidence that they had the visual of him moments, hanging around the dogs in the sheds there on his property just a little bit before the murder. So that, and then the millions of dollars that he didn't seem to show that much remorse about taking from some of his friends and his clients. But should it have been? I was watching a news show the other day, and it's news, and we're going to go to he's on the stand, we're going to watch this. Why? Unless you want to watch it. It's news. I know it's a great story. It captured the nation's attention. One would have thought that the various news agencies that we seem to have that clomp around out there might have used that time instead of on this trial. They might have, wanted to spend maybe 5 minutes a day on a possible, why are things going so wrong on the border? Why are we having such difficulty coming up with a a proper immigration law. What could we do to get there? How is it possible? Okay, that might have been nice. There's a few other fucking major news stories that they might have spent more time on with and analyzed, not fucking gone on and proselytized, analyzed what the problem is and how to solve it. Because that's what we need from you in the news, not whether Alex Murdaugh is. We'll find out. There'll be plenty of places to see it. There'll always be. Set up a channel for it. I don't give a shit. You know, people like to watch that stuff. I don't blame them. It's not but I've never kind of taken an interest in it. But I found myself standing. He said, you know, all of a sudden you're sitting there going, oh, look at that. Wow, he is a douchebag. But moving on, speaking of douchebags, look at my segues today. Pretty excited by them. We have Rupert Murdoch and the good folks at Fox News, and he acknowledged, I'm going to get this right. So this would have been a court case that might have been interesting to follow. The Murdoch case with Fox, in which Rupert Murdoch, the chairman of the conservative media company that owns Fox, acknowledged in a deposition that several hosts for his networks promoted the false narrative, really, that the 2020 election was stolen from former President Donald Trump, and that he could have stopped them but didn't. Court documents released on Monday. That should have come to us sooner. That should have been shown to us at a trial. Okay? So that you could see him and have him make the statement. And then gone to all of the people and asked them how they felt about that. About lying. And how does he get to keep running a goddamn fucking media empire? He told you he's watching them lie and he's endorsing the lie. Okay? That's not news. It's bullshit on a stick. Son of a bitch. And that's enough of this. Okay? I got a few things to wrap up with. Always fascinating stuff from our good folks at the Week. Florida's, here we go. In the banned books, are you fucking kidding me category, Florida's Duval County School District has removed a biography of Roberto Clemente, and for those of you who don't know, a tremendous ball player for the Pittsburgh Pirates, outfielder, great hitter, and just a great human being. Apparently, if you ever get a chance to take a quick look at his accomplishments, not just on the field, but off the field, as they say. And they've removed the biography of him from its shelves because sections detailing the racism faced by the Black Puerto Rican baseball legend may violate Ron DeSantis' Stop Woke Act. The act prohibits schools from exposing students to material that could cause racial anguish. I'll say this time and again, a child reading this would not feel that they were someone who was, being being racist toward. They would separate themselves. They have that ability to separate. I guess unlike Mr. DeSantis, he has a difficult time separating himself. Doesn't have from these things. He certainly has a great time, an easy time separating himself from reality. I mean, this is ridiculous. That a child's going to read this. It's important. The guy came out of Puerto Rico and made it to the top of the baseball world. It's nothing but inspiring. Okay, and he made it through getting racism is bullying. Okay, if you can't figure that out, you fucking idiots. That's why a child should read the book. They don't see it as that. They see it as somebody who's being taunted for idiotic reasons. Stupid. No reason for it, none. And that they would take this book out of the school. The act, and the district says a certified media specialist. I'd like to know what that is. Huh? Who certifies somebody? Okay, go in there and read it. What are they gonna read? Okay, wow. Read the They're gonna what? Read the book of an American. They're gonna read a what? What? A certified media specialist. What the fuck does that mean? Huh? That somebody knows? It's Roberto Clemente. He wrote a biography. It's a biography. Okay? It's not a diatribe about racism, which also, if a child wants to read it, they should be allowed to read it. Okay? It's this shit's got to stop. It really does. Especially that kind of nonsense that, in terms of banning books, that in a sense is it's like burning a book. The book disappears. Okay? And that's enough of that. Okay? That's really, I hope your week is a good one. I really do. We're going to be reading you some great rants written by the good folks of Skokie. It was the second night I was there, which was September 28th, and that was September 28th, 2019. I'll be returning there on March 24th and 25th, and in Skokie at the North Shore Performing Arts Center. I believe that's what it's called. I hope I'm right. And we will then be heading on to Nashville, Indiana. That's right. So I do think you'll enjoy these rants. The folks in Skokie are very bright as you, and all have something to say, something that irritates them, as I'm sure that the rest of you do. So keep getting those rants in. I will continue to read them from here in my cable access studio. Once again, it's been a pleasure spending time with you. Thank you for letting me into your computers and joining you for a bit of time. And it's always a pleasure. And I can't tell you what it means to me, because it means too much. It really does. So thank you. Take care of each other. It's important. Today's episode is sponsored by Honey, the easy way to save when shopping on your iPhone or computer. How do you feel when you find a deal? Do you feel smart, lucky, excited? What about when you get a surprise deal? Feels like you're getting a treat for free, doesn't it? Thanks to Honey, manually searching for coupon codes is a thing of the past. Honey is a free shopping cart tool that searches the internet for promo codes and then applies them to your checkout cart. It's really easy to use. Just go shopping on your favorite sites, and when it's time to check out, the Honey button appears and you just need to click Apply Coupons. And wait a second as Honey searches for any coupons on the internet. And if it finds one, it applies it right to your order and the price drops. I've used it, and let me tell you, it has saved me money on groceries and a few other things I'd rather not go into. Honey just doesn't work on desktops. It works on your iPhone too. Just activate it on your phone and save on the go. If you don't already have Honey, you could be straight up missing out. And by using it, you are supporting this podcast and saving yourself some money. It's a win-win. Get PayPal Honey for free by going to www.joinhoney.com/Lewis. That's joinhoney.com/Lewis, Lewis. We all know that money can't buy happiness, but not worrying about your money comes really close. That's where Chime can help you smile some more. They were just named the #1 most loved banking app, and if you can imagine a loved banking app, well, this one does it with payday up to 2 days early and fee-free overdrafts up to $200. They offer financial peace of mind for your wallet, and they do all of this with no annual fees, large security deposits, or credit checks to apply. So see for yourself why Chime is so loved at chime.com/Lewis. That's chime.com/Lewis, Lewis. Chime is a financial technology company, not a bank. Banking services and debit card provided by the Bancorp Bank or Stride Bank North America. Members FDIC. Early access to direct deposit funds depends on payer. Spot me eligibility requirements and overdraft limits apply. See chime.com/spot me. Chime was the 2021 #1 most downloaded banking app in the United States, according to Apptopia. Once again, we're back in Skokie at the North Shore Performing Arts Center, and we had a delightful day today. It was just delightful. Fall is coming, and all of it's fucking. And we left Rapid City like 2 weeks ago. We left Bismarck and the Dakotas, and they've had 8 feet of snow. Oh, fuck. I'm not ready. I can't. Fuck. But if, for those of you who ever think, boy, where should I go? It would be a good spot if I kind of want to be near Chicago and not go there. This might be the place. It's one of the last places where people still seem to go to a mall. I'm surrounded by malls. And literally a block from where I'm standing, and many of you may want to get some tissues, because this has made my mother cry. You can walk to a Nordstrom. So we're going to go right to this, because there's a lot of stuff that came in. They're not very happy here in Skokie. Yeah, this is from Judy B. She's here. If my husband tells me what to write down one more time, you'll see him thrown off the balcony. Yeah, that would be a fun finish. Okay, last night, we had one of the rants that was sent in was someone who went completely psychotic over the fact of putting ketchup on a hot dog. This is not what you do in Chicago. No, Chicago has spent, they had a lot of time during long, cold winters in which to figure out just how to literally, put enough things onto a hot dog that you go, holy fuck. Look at all those things that they put on a hot dog. Thousands and thousands of things. Like another city. But no ketchup. No ketchup! And he was enraged by ketchup, and there must have been something deep-seated in something his mother did, and I didn't want to get into it. It was his right to scream and yell about ketchup. I don't put ketchup on hot dogs. I don't. No, it's nothing to be applauded. It's not like, God damn it, son of a bitch. He's expressing his Fifth Amendment right to not put ketchup on a hot. I just don't. And on eggs, fuck you. That's seriously ill. But people do it. Whatever makes them happy. I don't give a shit. So this was Michael who's here, and he ended it by talking about taking a churro and putting a sweet churro and putting a hot churro. I love churros with the fucking cinnamon, and then he's talking about putting ketchup on it and shoving it down the person's throat who wanted the ketchup on the hot dog. Yeah, well, hey, look, you should have been here last night. So Michael Corsini wrote, Louis, I was there yesterday, great show, blah, blah, blah. He wrote this in. Now let's get serious. I'll eat ketchup on my goddamn hot dog till I'm 106. Whoever that fuck was who would make me choke on a stale churro must really like the taste of that spiced meat, if you can even call all that byproduct meat, to even joke about the delicious cinnamon sugar coating on those freshly fried awesomeness. That person must have voted for our leader. Keeping along the lines of food, this is from Kara Isaac, and I think this is fascinating. I always love it when people just find something that I'd never thought would trip them and make them enraged, but why can't I fucking have one piece of toast and one pancake? Why does it have to be two of one or the other? Every time I go to a diner, I ask for one of each, and invariably I get no. I'm sorry, we can't do that. Yes, you can! Because you're a restaurant. You know what you can't do? Defy gravity on planet Earth. You definitely can't do that. You can give me one, that, and one pancake. Here's how you do it, morons. Give me one of each and charge me for the fucking pancakes. There, you even made money on the deal because 2 pancakes have a steeper charge. Jesus H. Christ. This is a combination of myself and James. I was looking at the menu tonight. We eat after the show, and myself and James Salkin, who's the one who really makes sure that the rant goes throughout the world. We wrote this because every time I look at the menu, and he wrote this down. Why do restaurants say choice of dressing on the menu and then not list the choices? I don't need this kind of Jeopardy guessing game in my life. How hard is it to say what the fucking dressings are? Okay, these are 2 back-to-back. Even Stan, I guess, or Stone, but without the E on the end, so Stan is my guess. That's what you're getting tonight, even. Or Evan. Even would be with an E, you fucking idiot, Lewis. Evan and Jeff Varda. These are back-to-back. We live in Evanston, and the social justice mob wants schools to stop celebrating Halloween. The main argument is equality. Some kids can't afford costumes. And then the elementary schools in Evanston have canceled Halloween. So, Evan, you're behind. No more Halloween at school. No costumes, no nuts, no fun. That's insane. No, that really is. You can't fucking... And then meanwhile in Evanston, adults are going to be wandering around fucking dressed up in Halloween costumes? So you basically took that children's holiday and said, fuck you, you little pieces of shit? That's really beyond belief. Because some people couldn't afford costumes, then tell everybody, instead of cutting it out, tell everybody they have to make a costume. That's what you do. That they can't buy a fucking costume. How simple is that? I never got to wear a costume. Okay? I didn't get to wear a costume. Why? Because I had to go out for UNICEF. Why? Why? Because my mother was like a fucking taskmaster. Yeah, kids are starving, you little piece of shit. Get out there. What do you mean you want candy? Fuck you. Here's a jar. No, you're not wearing a costume. Put a tie on. Stan G., my father-in-law is a right-wing nut job who owns too many guns. What can I do? Don't go home for the holidays. This is from Tom Curran. This is really great. My 25-year-old son just quit his well-paying job in another city and moved home with his mom and me. He's here with me tonight. I hope he bought the tickets. How long should we let him stay with us? Oh, boy. Boy, oh, boy, oh, boy. Oh, that's just great. I'd really need more information. I need to know the job that he left that was so well-paying and what the city was. He could have been a shitty city. I've been in some shitty cities. But wow, whew. Wow, you are fucked. But I hope that laughing, that you and the family laughing together here tonight, that you can sit down tomorrow during Sunday, maybe at brunch, and try to figure this out. He'll move out. If he's like me, I moved home after college at 21, and I got a job in the federal government, and I gained 20 pounds living at home, and which was almost impossible because my mother cooked, we were horrible food. And so and that was what drove me out. I said, if I stay here, I'll just be the fattest fuck on earth. So just start feeding him shit. Feed him like McDonald's shit. Maybe that's what to do. Feed him stuff, fatten him up. He'll fucking get the message. All of a sudden, he can't sit there and watch TV. He can't get on the bed breaks. Shit like that. And I just thought of that myself. This is from Christine Wessner. We have 5 heavy set, that's a good way to put it, upstairs neighbors in less than 1,200 square feet, plus they have 2 dogs, one being a pit bull, a cat, and they have 6 cars. It's absolutely earthquaking above us. Wow. Well, maybe Tom can help you out. Maybe we can send that son over there and maybe he can help you. Maybe he was working in soundproofing and stuff. If you're fucked, you can't move? Or can't you say to have them move below you? Just go, fuck you. Well, you don't want to live up there with the 2 dogs. That'd probably, the smell. And a cat. Oh, yeah. Wow. Boy, there are nights like this that I'm fucking glad I just live in New York, where you go, wow, I have no upstairs neighbors. Woo-hoo. Son of a bitch. I wouldn't know. And heavy set, 5 in less than 1,200 square feet. What is that like? Is that like are they wrestlers? Joel Platt, no, this is actually, Joel, this is the one we saw in San Diego a couple of years ago. You were soft on Trump. Yeah, right. I wasn't. I just didn't give a shit. Seriously, it's exhausting. I don't even like saying his name. The only time I say his name was when I read this. And the reason I don't say his name, because I know when I say it, his ears perk up. This is from Mike S. Recently we had a crying Virgin Mary at a Greek Orthodox church. They put cotton balls down to catch her tears. Why the hell aren't they getting a DNA sample? Can you imagine having the DNA of the Virgin Mary? You might be able to clone her. All right, I've got 2 here I'm going to read. One is really, this is from Bailey McMurray, who is here tonight. I'm here with my dad tonight in the audience, so I'll keep this as PG as possible. Well, fuck that. I've read things like this before, and it's just important to note, I think, what women go through in terms of other women and folks around them. I'm a 34-year-old married woman with a full-time job, happy, educated, and soon hoping to have kids. I'm sure I'm not the only one in the audience or know someone who can relate to my ongoing dilemma. When I got married 4 years ago, the big question was, even on my wedding day, when are you going to have kids? That's all the time. I hear this all the fucking time. It's amazing the balls that people have. Each holiday or family gathering, text message, conversation, it's the same old question. And I shrug it off and try to ignore it. Due to infertility issues and uterine fibroids, 2 surgeries even this year, people still ask me, so when are you going to have kids? Look, I'm going to need some assistance when my husband and I decide the timing is right. IUI, IVF, ABC, easy as 1, 2, 3, you name it. We are ready. We've done our research. So shut up and stop asking me. I had someone once tell me, if you've not started a family yet, your biological clock is ticking. I'm 4 years old, for fuck's sake. Are you calling me old or my uterus old? Is there an imaginary clock these people are carrying around and going to have a confrontation with someday when it reaches a certain age? Like, too late, lady, the whistle blows and that's it, too late, do not pay us go, do not collect $200. It's as if they want to control my destiny and live vicariously through my 9 months of having a constant stomach ache and having it get bigger and bigger until the watermelon is ready to explode. Okay, at least in my case, at least I do not have to force a watermelon through a tiny hole. Due to the fucking up and artistry from my total 4 surgeries in my life, it will be lifted out via C-section. So I've learned to give the same answer. None of your fucking goddamn business! Well, it usually comes out like a little sweeter and nicer than that, like, fuck off! Also, there's this thing that apparently I'm barred from called the Special Mommies Club. There's a group of ladies that I volunteer with in our local community, and I'm usually the outcast because I don't get it, I don't understand. Who made them fucking entitled and privileged? Sure, I do not sit around with my mommy juice and play dates, sing kumbaya fucking ya, Instagram our lives and complain how hard life is. Well, you're not the only fucking one with a tough life, sister, but I damn well work hard, play hard, and better believe I am enjoying my life one moment at a time. We are all going through something, so let's be kind to one another. Look, if I'm gonna sit 9 months through misery and giving up my wine and coffee, I couldn't do it. You better believe it is going to be an adventure and well worth the wait. And I have nothing but respect for all the moms out there. It's my next chapter. Oh, and my dad will be pretty awesome grandpa someday. And that is the most amazing wish come true. Thank you. And since that was so sweet and interesting and bitter, I'd like to end it with something that is really will make us feel better about our country and is really fucking funny and twisted. And it comes from where Jeff used to lived a portion of his life in Australia, and it'll explain why he's so fucking nuts. Mrs. Mitchell Hefner. Hi, Louis. This ran as the form of a letter I wrote to our local government. Dear Mr. McLean, when I have recently used the town's public toilet, I was confronted with a very awkward situation. Although the new brushed stainless steel bowls are attractive to gaze upon, their primary purpose has been compromised because there are no seats. One is forced to hover above the toilet bowl in order to use the facilities. I believe the South Gippsland Shire Council is leaving itself open to public liability with regard to this new toilet bowl design for the following reasons. It is impossible for an elderly person to balance over the toilet bowl in this manner without falling or making a mess of themselves. Someday, someone will fall down, be hurt in the process, and then the council will face a lawsuit from this person and or their family. God, I love, in other countries, they're so fucking good at this. We just go, God damn it, I'm not gonna sit in there, fucking, I'm getting a lawyer. This design renders the toilets unusable by those of us fit enough to balance over the toilet bowl for one purpose only, as the other definitely requires the ability to sit down. The increasing numbers of tourists who visit our town in their tour buses on their way to the coast are left with the impression that the Shire cannot afford toilet seats, or they are such prized possessions that the locals have removed them. I am aware that my last point may have highlighted the reason that there are no seats on the toilets to prevent removal of them through vandalism. But I don't think leaving them seatless is a good answer. Also, the next time the council requires refurbished toilets, could it please engage the services of female design engineer so the result is toilets that both genders can use? Thank you very much. It's been a pleasure spending time in Skokie. We'll be in Green Bay tomorrow night and Louisville next Thursday. Thank you very much. Thanks to all of you for listening to my Rantcast. If you have a rant you want to get off your chest, send it in to me at lewisblack.com/live. You can think of it as therapy or whatever you want to think of it as. Just let it rip. And I want to thank the true stars of our show, the ranters, and the splendid rants they gave us. Louis Black's Rantcast was created and hosted by me, Louis Black. Our live rant audio was produced by James Salter. Our theme song by Chris Lane. Executive producer, Ben Brewer. Executive producers, Matt Kleinschmidt and Robert Kelly for the Laugh Button Podcast.